Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever for a 5v5 on Adaptive Onslaught with Team 1 in the top right and Team 2 in the bottom left. As always, I love this map, and I hope you all love this cast, because today I'm joined by my oh-so-esteemed peer and colleague, Function, a new caster to the FAF scene, and I really hope you all give him a warm welcome. Go over to his channel and subscribe. Go watch the cast I did with him. Pause this one, go over that one. This one can wait. I know it'll keep showing up in your feed until you watch it, so go do it, you Seraphim heathens and Aeon beautiful people and the other two factions, whatever. And yes, Function, introduce yourself as I slow down the game before we get into introducing our players.
Hello, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. I've done a couple of these dual casts now, and I absolutely love them. They're so much fun.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into introducing our teams. With the rearguard air position for Team 1, the Gray Aeon going first land at 1200 rating. His name is RKX, and he is starting first land. Moving on to the south of him, we have a brown, yellow, orange, colorblindness, whatever, Cybran by the name of Caban going first land. And then over to the west of him, we have an electric blue, which is the Guile term for it, and I actually kind of like it, so I use it from time to time. Cybran going first land by the name of GBK0220, another channel regular with RKX. And speaking of channel regulars, we have a red UEF as he slow-mo walks away from his first land factory by the name of Lieutenant General Fluffy. He's going to be rocking this position at 1600 rating. And then over to the north of him, we have a light blue UEF, also doing that slow-mo walk that we all so much like, by the name of The Everyday, and his first factory was a land one. Moving on to Team 2, we're starting in the rearguard air position, and Function will take it away with the introductions.
Yeah, so, regard, we've got X-Steam in green UEF. Then over to the east in yellow-ish Cybran, we've got Ikrik. And to his north, we have Icy Nightmare, who I think I've casted before on my channel.
He is a very prominent person in the smaller FAF community. He's very much so a very chill guy. If you ever want to play games, hit him up.
And in green Cybran, we've got Uncle Honey Nubs. And then to round it out in orange Aeon, we have Wakalik.
Wakalik. And yes, I'm going to be referring to, I always call him Zydeem. I just turned that X into a Z because that sometimes happens in English because we can't be consistent on freaking anything. And I'm blaming you, Mr. British person.
It is definitely my fault. I apologize for that.
All right. We look at the reclaim on this map. We've seen this map many a times on this channel, but always good to refresh ourselves. A lot of reclaims spread out throughout the map. The vast majority going to be in this area. I'm highlighting with my mouse in a kind of a circular motion. And of course, in the central area alone, 10,000, 30,000 across the map overall. We also have these little pockets with Serenity of 3,000 each, and that's going to be pretty important. We have a very early focus already out from both sides. There's pretty much a meta on this map. Lieutenant General Fluffy, GBK, Icy Nightmare, and Uncle Honeynubs are going to be making their way to the middle to suck up that reclaim. And of course, with Aeon players, they can be trying to turn that into Suck Boys, but I don't think there's a single Aeon player going to the mid, so I don't know why I brought that up. And what are your opinions on this map, Function? Have you played it? Have you watched any games on it?
This is actually the first time I've seen this map, so I don't know too much about it. But it looks like a very different map to the one we just cast. We did a 5v5 on Canis, and on that map you've got a couple of big choke points that are really important, and then you've got mass kind of all spread out. This is sort of a more classic map where you've got a huge amount of reclaim in the middle, which tends to lend itself towards com v com action early on, which we always like to see.
Yep, We have some early scouting coming out from Zydeem, as well as some interceptors trying to get straight over the enemy air player's base, which is interesting call. We also have some action popping off between the comms in the middle. Usually this is going to amount to nothing. They are just focused on getting that mass sucked up, and we'll have to keep an eye on it, of course. This map, of course, me and Thurnis are both love this map, mainly because we're the people who made this map popular again. Almost no games were played on this map for a very long time. It's been out for a very long time. And then me and Thurnis kind of spammed it on stream, and people randomly host it now. So we just, being narcissists, claim that we brought this map back into popularity. Instead of the more realistic factor being this was just a good map that got overlooked.
It is a beautiful looking map. I love the theme, the white with the red water. I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah, the red water really does kind of look like lava when you're zoomed out, and it's very nice aesthetically. We have some units showing up here. Icy Nightmare in a lot of trouble as GBK and Lieutenant Colonel Fluffy bring him down to 4,600 HP, 4,700 HP. Uncle Honeynubs standing his ground, being like, well, if you wanna try this, we will take down Lieutenant General Fluffy with it. And it does seem as though Icy and Fluffy have come to an accord and just decided, okay, we'll both live and keep getting up all of this reclaim here in the middle. The two corners, always hotly contested on this map, and while it might seem like these are two identical positions, they are indeed not. There are multiple factors that go into this, mainly these two plateaus here. These plateaus, I don't think there's a defined meta on it, but they can go to the air player, they can both go to this player up here, and such, and depending on where they go, it kind of changes the outcome of how this plays out a lot of times, because that extra little tick of mass is just a few more units and a little bit more going on. But these players on the edges, unlike most maps, the flank players usually aren't the carry players. These players get the most mass extractors, whereas the players in the middle get the least, and this player in particular on each side gets the overall least. So our two higher rated players as Fluffy and Icy Nightmare at 1,600 and 1,800 respectively, taking the least carry positions in my opinion. The advantage that these players get is their base is damn near unassailable in the early game, so they do get the option of what both of these players have opted for, which is extremely fast ecoing. They can get up to T2 mexes very quickly, and they can really boost their economy and get into higher tech levels of gameplay very quickly, as long as their opponent doesn't make like some kind of concerted effort with T1 hover, which would be Aeon or Zui's, to deal with them.
Yeah, so you can almost consider them kind of mid-game carries. That early game they're not doing much because they're just focusing on eco, and then late game the other players with larger bases are able to do more. But in the mid game they get to T2 and T3 quickest, so they can put in a lot of work.
I think we're gonna have our first ejection here. I don't see a way that Fluffy manages to make it out here. He's going to be sitting on 4,000 HP, but this is a lot of Mantas, and if that comm gets back into range, that's going to be a dead Fluffy. I think that Uncle Honeynubs really underestimating the amount of power he had in that position. I do think he could have killed Fluffy with a bit more of a concerted effort there. I personally would have been all in on that. I've been like, my comm and my units are walking at you, deal with it.
Yeah. I find myself in that situation in 1v1 games quite a lot. I'm like, well, I reckon there's like a 45% chance that I could win this game if I played properly, but I'm just gonna go for the draw because I'm a garbage human.
In my 1v1s, I don't 1v1 often, but I think I have an insane win rate in 1v1, mainly because I don't play it often. I think in my last 20 to 30 1v1s, which is probably taken course over a year, I've got like an 80 to 90% win rate. Like I've won a 1v1 against Duelist. I've won a whole every time I queue up for 1v1 ladder, I seem to win. I just don't like 1v1s.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
I don't like 1v1s, and I'm sure it's entirely down to amount of games played. With the 1v1 ladder in particular, I think I'm underrated still on that. So going up against people who I just shouldn't be.
That's it's a very different style of play. You've got to do basically everything. You can't you can't really min-max quite as well as in a 4v4 game.
I get enough 1v1 playing with Thurnus Haley, who on land maps, he always ends up dying, and I constantly have to run double baits. Speaking of which, the meta on this map, and I'm just going to double check, is indeed full share. So everybody is going to be playing with full share. Somebody dies, their base goes to the next highest scored player, as is tradition. And it's my favorite way to play the game, but I do understand that people have different opinions on that, and it's okay to have an opinion. But if you go into the comments and tell me that my opinion's wrong, I'm just going to argue with you. Actually, I probably won't. Just ignore you.
Yes, I think personally, I have a slight preference for non-full share games. I think I enjoy the fact that assassinations are a bit more meaningful, but it's a preference. I think most people enjoy full share games, so I'm happy to play them.
Yeah, my argument for full share games, I don't enjoy arguing about it. I've argued in the comments with it a bunch of times, but I'm not too heated on the debate personally. I feel like the reason that 4v4 full share is always played and you never see 4v4 no share is full share in general, in my opinion, is the most balanced state of the game. Because there's no way to counterbalance the fact that if a player dies and their entire base goes away, the total mass generated in the game just is completely thrown off, because everything that they had in standing structures and units is just gone now, and it just creates a power vacuum. Also, I find snipes boring. So that's my reasoning, but I understand the other side of the argument too, and I think it's valid to have either opinion. But moving on from that, Icy Nightmare is traditionally a extremely oppressive land player to play against, and we're getting to see that here. Constant bands of units running around, constantly has 3 to 4 groups of relatively large armies that he tries to outmaneuver his opponents with, and then he'll regroup them all together for one large push pretty often.
It looks like Caban, who I think was in our last game that we just casted. Caban was trying to move down to the southeast, but Ikrik moving up to defend with a larger army.
Yeah, here we're seeing the real punishment for players who haven't played this map before. If you don't send your comm down here to this corner or up here to this corner, you forfeit that corner, and there are a grand total of 6 mexes that are here that are just very difficult to take away once somebody gets there, because you can get up T2 PD and there's giant choke points here. You have to fight for all of the choke points on this map. Right now we're seeing a bit of a split map situation where the teams have split up the map along the horizontal axis pretty evenly, which means that we're going to be seeing a lot of even gameplay. We're going to see people getting to the same breakpoints at the same times. The only kind of aberration to that right now, I would say, is Icy Nightmare, who has ecoed out of his mind, even considering that like he gets the least mass extractors. He has the most mass in the game right now at 54 mass a second. So that early reclaim he got really catapulted his economy into the stratosphere, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a sub 12 minute T3 mex. I wouldn't be surprised to see him working on one right now. I don't know if he is, but is something to keep an eye on, as over here on the eastern side, Ikrik going in to fight with Caban.
So what are your thoughts on aggressive comm usage? Like, do you enjoy that style of play, or do you prefer to just leave it up to the regular land units?
On land maps, I go Aeon and build Chrono almost every game. So, I'm very pro aggressive comm usage.
Yeah, now that I'm playing Seraphim a little bit more often, I'm really enjoying the aggressive comm usage. I just played a 2v2 game on my stream yesterday where I upgraded the Seraphim comm and I died, I think, sort of halfway through the game, but I set my teammate up to be able to win the game, and it was a really fun game.
Yeah, overall, with the Seraphim comm is something I do love to discuss. Region Aura is crazy broken for how cheap it is. It doesn't seem like it would be, The first time I saw it really being abused was, I think, on the Darkest Heart, or the Dark Heart map. The Darkest Heart was the tourney I hosted for that map. The Dark Heart map, I saw somebody using it with boats, and I was like, oh, dude, that's broken. It's being used with boats. These boats are getting like 15 HP a second. It's crazy. The additive effect, the earlier you get Regen Aura and the more you keep it with your army, the additive effect of all of that HP, you can easily double, triple, quadruple the amount of HP your units actually have in a match. It's basically like having 1 rank of veterancy on every unit that's near your comm. It's ridiculously effective. And I think that I'm really happy to see Seraphim players get gun speed and range, do a little bit of fighting, and then get Regen Aura way more often.
Yeah, so I didn't even know that Regen Aura was a thing until yesterday, and I accidentally built Regen Aura instead of Nano Repair, and I realized at some point, oh, we've got a Mercy Snipe coming as I'm talking, but in the top there with Grey, but I accidentally built Regen Aura, and I was like, why are all my units regenning so much health? This is insane. Is this a bug? And then I realized, and I was like, oh shit, Seraphim's even more broken than I thought.
Yeah, and I control grouped that Mercy group, so whenever I see them moving out, we'll go ahead and just track onto them. I haven't tried this before, so I guess I should test it. Hey, it works.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, that works. I can't deselect them though, which is troubling. It will be an issue, but that is that new piece of caster tech for everybody. You can control group units that players have. The longer these Mercies sit here, the more this seems like a wasted investment, and that RKX wasted a ton of mass. He's not even at T3 air yet. His opponent is already got the T3 P-Gen done. Him not getting a kill with these Mercies is kind of huge for Team 2.
Yeah, and you can see... only 10 hit points on each of those missiles. So as soon as the enemy is allowed to get a decent number of air units, then Mercies are really, really hard to use effectively. But Gaban is far forward, and he's on that paper-thin Siren Com. Oh, sorry, that's getting confused between the yellow players.
Yeah, Caban and Ikrik being on the same side of the map is just a war crime in and of itself.
Yeah, and especially so I'm watching this video through the lens of your computer, and it's making it even harder to differentiate the colors because they become slightly more similar when they get streamed, I guess.
Yeah, it's just you live by the sword, die by the sword. Colors are a bitch.
Yeah.
Wow, these Mercies, I'm starting to feel really bad. So I think that with Mercies, the best defense is simply having any kind of anti-air. You were mentioning how air units make it a lot harder. That requires somebody to actively do something, but having a flak requires you to just you can be AFK and defeat a Mercy sniper. And
yeah, and I think one flak shot.
I see Nightmare maybe in danger. One thing that RKX is doing though is he's wasting the fuel on these Mercies. He's about to lose 5 Mercies just because he's waffled around.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
they have the lowest fuel in the game, and that's simply to stop them from flying across the map or flying around a bunch. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, bunch of dead Mercies. At least he's dropping them in friendly territory where he can get the okay, that 14 mass was something else. I was about to say, Mercies are not... He's dropping them in the water, which is quite possibly the worst option. And a lot of them dropped and did not even produce a reclaim. So, feels bad. Feels real bad, fam.
Yeah, that's a significant mass investment. Could have built a couple of T2 mexes or T3 mexes or whatever. Nice big land engagement here.
Unfortunately, it's mainly... I mean, there's some pillars showing up for Fluffy here, But it's mainly Mantis getting pulverized by pillars, and the pillars are in a defensive position with parashields. This is
that parashield doing a lot of work
for Icy, and he's gonna be happy.
There were a lot of flapjacks in the mix, but yeah, just too many pillars, I think.
I mean, there was a lot of flapjacks, but he still had 18 pillars, and that will deal with about 50 Mantis.
Yeah. Engagement going off on that left side there.
Yeah, we have the units of the Everyday and Lieutenant General Fluffy starting to make their way over. Double tactical missile launcher, neither of them getting particularly good connections though, with neither of them even getting to 2,000 mass killed. Gonna be not a super mass effective trade. Does kill off, does seem to have gotten a T2 mechs, at least one of them did. And this forward base should be dead as long as Fluffy micros this correctly. He needs to get underneath that shield and kill that off and then focus down each PD one at a time. Does he have the APM for that? That's a good question. He's actively microing it. You can see the waypoints change. He's killing off the shield, and then you need to focus down the Oblivions one at a time, and he's got this. And yep, does do the micro correctly. Having his units stuck inside the factories might mean that the Oblivions here don't manage to defend, which is unfortunate. Here in the center, AC Nightmare pushing forward with all of his forces to secure this mass reclaim field, and yeah, he's gonna get it. I mean, he's already reclaimed a decent portion. Yet again, these high-rated players, very good at sucking up mass. They're like living, breathing Roombas.
In terms of the nice little engagement going down there for Ikrik.
Yeah, that T3 mech's going down. Caban's been very greedy economically, and it's not paying off.
Yeah, I think if he had just a couple of PDs, he would have been able to hold off some of those units long enough for him to overcharge the rhinos down with his commander and maybe save that T3 mechs, excuse me. A brick is rolling off, so I don't think he's going to lose the second mechs.
I think he does to the Vipers.
Oh yeah, nice.
Maybe not, with that 20 HP a second might just be enough. Ooh.
I think look at
that's actually just a misplay out of Ikrik though. If he throws all of those, if he just sacrifices the Vipers, the T3 mechs goes down, and how many Vipers is a T3 mechs worth? I would argue that number is pretty high.
Yeah, I think players. I think players tend to lower rated players struggle to figure out the kind of cost versus gain of certain plays, so they're very reluctant to sacrifice any units at all.
I think I very reluctant to sacrifice any units. I think that a lot of Supreme Commander in general is the entire game is trading. If you play a MOBA like League of Legends, people are very akin to the idea of trading, and in that game it means you're trading health, or other resources, health, cooldowns, whatever, for some kind of benefit. Whereas with FAF, it's pretty much the exact same thing, except for your goal is to trade units efficiently, and in general the goal of FAF is efficiency. It's efficiency simulator. It would be a very effective name.
Yeah, efficiency simulator pretending that it's an RTS game. Nice use of Titans there to clear out this mass field so that the orange player can't suck up too much of that mass.
Yep. There's... Wow, these tactical missile launchers. Neither of them have gained value since then, and they're still firing missiles. That's a huge 8 mass a second. That's a T2 mech's worth of mass, and that's T2 mechs with capping, not without capping.
Yeah, Everyday has just completely defended all of his T2 mexes with TMDs, which is something I'm really bad at. But he's done it very effectively there.
So
those Titans... Sorry, go ahead.
one thing to mention about this match is there is no Seraphim, so no heathens here. Um, and with there being no Seraphim, in general, I think that makes the T3 land phase. It's gonna make it. I mean, there's not even really all that much Aeon. There's RKX who isn't going into land, so we're gonna see pretty big armies of T3 units kind of just clash with each other. Whereas whenever you have Seraphim or Aeon, you also oftentimes get into those situations where the Aeon player is like, okay, how much territory can I give up to make my sniper bots effective? I can give up like 2 mexes, 2 of my frontline mexes, and win a large engagement and use the reclaim from that to make up for whatever I lost.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about it in the last cast. Sniper bots are a really, really cool unit, and I think they're quite a micro-heavy unit, and the better you micro them, the more effective they are. So I think in the hands of high-rated players, they're an extremely valuable unit.
If you want to get better with sniper bots, seriously, play Aeon T1. With Aeon T1, to make Auroras cost-effective, you have to do the same micro you have to do with sniper bots.
Yeah, I was thinking about this recently. I think Aeon are overall, I think, the weakest.
Oh, sorry, not meaning to cut you off. I really like the transfer of units to Ikrik. Because
nice.
It helps the pathfinding. But what were you saying?
Sorry, yeah, I think overall Aeon are probably the weakest faction at the minute, but in 1v1s, I think they can be extremely effective if you use the Auroras properly, because in 1v1s you rarely get out of the T1 phase, so you spend the whole time using Auroras, and the Auroras have some serious advantages over their other faction equivalents.
So, what do you think? What do you think about the state of the game right now? Where do you think these two teams stand? What do you think the priorities of either team should be?
So the simplest thing is that Team 2 are 50k mass ahead total, and they're like over 100 mass per tick ahead in terms of generated eco. So they basically just need to keep the game going as long as possible, and they'll get stronger and stronger in relation to their opponents. I think Team 1 need to do a better job of defending against these raids that we can see coming in here, and then maybe trying to make some counter raids of their own. Some vulnerable mexes down at the southeast that Team 1 could maybe target. Maybe with some air forces, I'm not sure. Lasercom. Do we have teleport on that commander? I don't think we do yet.
No, we don't. We just have laser, and it's going to be extremely effective in this fight.
He's got to be careful though. Still not a whole lot of hit points on that commander. Well, 18,000. It's not exactly an Aurora, but it's
Whoa. What's going on with my mini map there? Broke it. He didn't have a ton of hit points, but you don't need a ton if nothing can stand near you for more than 2 seconds. And
it's super high DPS on that.
And the greatest thing about laser is it does not overkill at all. It stops attacking the target the second it's done firing. So this 20,000 mass, this is a Monkey Lord, and I think this is the right call. He's got the Monkey Lord queued up. He's getting the hives really quick. They're just going to be sicked on to building that Monkey Lord, and then you send all these T3 engineers reclaiming, and that's going to be huge for Team 1.
Looks like we have another Monkey Lord being built by GBK in his base.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
He's only got one T3 engineer. I think more are going to be showing up on it. But GBK has a decent economy. He's over 100 mass a second. He can afford that as long as he isn't throwing too much into other stuff. Fluffy is trying to keep up, but it does just feel as though Fluffy is kind of just fallen. I guess he hasn't. Him and Icy surprisingly equal on mass generation despite the huge early lead that Icy had. Speaking of the man himself, here in the middle, setting up a fire base, Ravagers preempting that Monkey Lord.
Yeah. Monkey Lord, very high DPS, but low on hit points relative to other experimentals and low on range, so Ravagers are a fantastic counter to it. That is a weird looking unit. That's Seraphim, or the Aeon sniper bot.
It's
Very, very strange.
It's just happy to be here. It's like a
Looks like it's
it's like a granddaddy long dog.
Yeah.
Things
I like the I like the little ball that's on top. I like to think that that's the little sort of minion controlling the chassis. And then it looks like it's got a harpoon on its nose as well, which is kind of weird.
One thing that's always bothered me, and once it starts to fire, you're gonna see it, is that the energy. And whenever you're looking at it from top down, whenever it fires, that energy underneath, when you look at it from top down, I'll show you really quick. It doesn't even look like it's firing out of its gun. It looks straight up like it's just coming out from underneath, so that gun is useless.
Yeah, that's slightly disappointing. Faf or Supreme Commander is like 15 years old now, so I think we can forgive some of the animation.
We can't forgive any of it. Somebody get Chris Taylor on the phone.
Okay.
And somebody get him on the phone. We need to solve this issue. You fucked up the Sprite Striker.
Let's do that.
The game's really devolved into fire bases.
Yeah, Percy's being airdropped onto the front line there for every day. Trying to secure, I think that there's a decent mass field in the middle there, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Building Triad
First
is
experimental
a long move. You want to build Link Hammers against Sprite Strikers or get Demolishers on the field.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Triads are T2 PDs in general are kind of a weird unit because they're actually lower, I believe, on DPS than T1 PDs. But the advantage they have, of course, is the massive range in comparison.
Overall, that's kind of how the tech levels go. Duelist mentions this a lot in his science videos. Is the higher tech you go, the less DPS for mass you get. What you get is consolidated DPS in a smaller area.
And the other utility that comes along with them as well.
Also, just fun fact, because casters love just spewing off stats. T1 PD all four of them have 100 DPS, and T2 it varies, but it's about I think 60 maybe. I can just check with the Everyday's Triad here. I don't think that DPS is correct. Is it?
I think that might take into account the fact that it's AoE. I'm not sure.
Does he have a T1 PD? No, he doesn't. Pretty sure they're all supposed to be 100.
I think Ikrik might have some T1 PDs.
Oh, wait. Van?
Oh, yeah.
150 DPS. Okay, maybe it's changed. I thought it was 100. More you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the Triad is the highest DPS out of the T2 PDs.
Yeah. Bloom. I love Bloom. I love being able to see everything.
Two Monkey Lords bearing down on this firebase, one going behind.
Icy is dead.
Yeah, potentially. He's got a lot of T3 units, but they're Titans, unfortunately.
He makes Titans do
they're gonna
things
get
they
zapped. There are a bunch of spearheads in the mix there, which is essentially wasted mass up against the Monkey Lord.
The Ravagers, but this Monkey Lord just needs to be right-clicked over there onto Icy Nightmare.
He's losing hit points pretty rapidly, down to a big overcharge there, and spinning the gun around, and just too many hit points on that chunky UEF comm.
Yeah, that's why I was.
Although Brick's coming in.
Yep, he's dead.
Oh, and he does go pop to the Bricks and the Percivals. Nice.
That's right. I've been doing this long enough to just know when a comm is dead.
Yeah.
I called it like 3 minutes out.
Yeah, I love that intuition.
No, whenever the second Monkey Lord was dying, I was like, oh no, he's dying. Throwing a brick through.
What do you think about Bricks? I think they are one of the ugliest units in the game. But, Duelist disagrees with me. What do you think?
I will disagree with you as well. I think the brick looks really cool. I think that the brick's weapon shouldn't be where it is.
Where is the Brick's weapon, actually?
It's near the top. One sec. We'll just have to
okay.
until it fires. Or I might even be wrong on that. I just think it comes out of a very weird space. I think that if it actually had like a more defined gun, it would look a lot better. Can you please fire? The one time I need you to do something. Are you gonna die before you get?
You had one job.
Yep, you're gonna die before you get.
It literally is. Oh my days. When you see Bricks in the background, they turn into actual cardboard boxes because the polygons reduce.
Yeah, but everything looks like trash. Both of these are the low-res versions. The Percival looks like a. It just looks bad.
It does look like a box of an arm.
What is it? There is a hotkey that you can hit that is absolutely horrible, and I shouldn't be looking for it right now, but it is. And debugger. Is it Alt V? Alt V. Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen that before. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. Oh, it even works on the Rex. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the hitboxes of everything.
Ugh, I hate it and I love it, and I hate it.
Yeah, Monkey Lords look like a monstrosity.
Ugh, gross. That's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, this Fafcast that's been so much about the game that's going on. Every time I do a dual cast, it just devolves into talking about random stuff. It becomes a podcast more than a cast.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to do it. That's much more interesting.
So, overall, the mass differential has just grown. Right now, Zydeem is just a disgusting eco-whore.
I was going to say this earlier. He's not done very much, but hopefully we're going to see him do some stuff soon because he has an insane amount of income.
I think this defines as stuff soon.
Yeah.
Maver,
yeah. Oh God.
Is a pretty if I was going to say do stuff, Maver would be one of the things that I would say you could do. And it
yeah.
Takes a lot of stuff to do a Maver.
How much mass does a Maver cost to build?
252,000.
Jesus.
Watch me be wrong on that too. one of the T4s is either Paragon or Maver is 252,000. 224,000. Now I need to make sure I'm not just talking shit. I should stop just spouting things before I look at it. 250,000 and 200. Okay, I was wrong.
Okay.
I was wrong by one place. Also, the difference between that and 252,000 is minimal.
Yeah. I'll let you off this once, Willow.
I had all of the numbers, they were just in the wrong order, okay? But yeah, no, Maver ain't cheap.
No, and Zydeem's team doing a really good job of holding off Team 1 while he gets his eco online. Icy Nightmare sacrifices himself, but he put up
He took down 2 monkey
put up a
lords.
decent fight. Yeah, that's a lot of mass that got invested.
A lot of reclaim, and it's all going to Team 1. Team 2, with the death, there just wasn't enough engineers in the area.
I think that's a big mistake there.
Okay,
I think Team 2...
Yeah, the brick. This is what I mean. Like, why is it coming out of its forehead?
That's so weird.
I think it should come back, like, come closer down to where the legs are, maybe where that, like, hump is, where it's looking at it. Like,
yeah, I agree.
I think the gun is the one...
There's not even, like, a protrusion. There's no gun. It's just coming out of, like, a light or something.
It's coming out of a tiny hole.
Weird.
The only unit I think that I don't like where the weapon shoots from, and I know I was talking about the Sprite Striker, but it does actually come out of the barrel of the Sprite Striker's gun. I just think the effect looks dumb.
Yeah, that's true. I think Team 2 could have set up a perimeter around those Monkey Lord Rex, because Team 1 had to use up a lot of units. They didn't have too much left behind. So I think Team 1 could have secured this objective here.
What's your favorite T3 unit just from visuals?
Just from visuals, I really like Harbingers. I think Harbingers look awesome.
Harbingers are up there for me. My favorite T3 unit is So Slanted because I had a FAF co-op campaign series that nobody watched.
Oh, no.
And it made me fall in love with the T3 mobile anti-air of the UEF. And if you ever want to have a laugh,
they're cool.
If you ever want to have a laugh, watch the final episode of that. I am dying.
I will.
Because at some point, somebody is like, "I'm sending all my cougars south," and I said the cougars are flying south for the winter. And every time I say that, I think of a bunch of like 30 to 50-year-old women flapping their arms and flying to Florida.
Awesome.
And
now you have given me that gift, because that is all I will think of every time I see that unit.
Unfortunately, I don't think there are literally any of them on the map for us to look at. Also, I love the look of it because it has the twin miniguns, and back to 40k, we can branch it back to the other cast.
Yeah.
I'm not an orc player, but I do love me Daka.
Yeah, Daka is very cool. Speaking of Daka, we've got a Fat Boy doing its best to defend against the GC, not doing too well, and a Caesar doing absolutely nothing.
And he's having power struggles. Also, we completely missed the Tsar because whatever. Did somebody just die? Or was that's an SCU? I need somebody to figure out. One of the code monkeys needs to figure out how to change the SCU explosion sound. That needs to change.
Yeah, it is annoying, but I think it's Zydium dropping Sakyus up to the front. Oh right, I see. Yeah. Grab.
Megalith.
Oh, it just looks so cool. There's like a split second of sort of charge up time on those guns that looks great.
Yeah, the Megalith is unequivocally just it went for the cool factor, and it would. I think that this unit, the unit design, the 4 legs with the 2 giant cannons could look good in any of the factions styles. I think you could make an Aeon Megalith that looks cool, especially a UEF one. Maybe Seraphim, it wouldn't look as good because it had floaty bits, and I don't think the floaty bits look good on Seraphim. But
yeah, fair enough.
I think you could translate it to any of them, and it would fit with their style and everything. And I can't think of another unit where I think that would work.
Yeah,
well, Fat Boy, but that's just
point.
because the Fat Boy is so damn simple. It's also literally a land battleship.
Yeah, they took 2 T3 battleships. They stuck them together, squished them down.
The everyday one, the everyday is just fucking dead. That's not his comm, but he has no way to defend against this.
Yeah, there's nothing in defense.
GC Monkey Lord combined arms on the northern side, going to come up here and just wreak havoc.
1 million T1 bombers coming out to try and kill that GC. It's not a bad idea.
Speaking of T1 bombers, I was talking about how effective they can be even with sufficient anti-air. This isn't it.
Oh yes.
The big reveal has yet to come. It does come, but it is a bit filthy. I'll tell you that.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's a nice surprise. When I saw it, I was very happy.
The GC still on 20k hit points
It just got more.
and gets a rank of vet. Yeah.
Yeah, SCU is very expensive. Give you a lot of rank towards that, even on experimentals.
Yeah.
He's gonna get another one.
Ravage
As
is
he
going
focuses
down.
the
T3
pigeons, he
engineers.
gets another one. Focus the pigeons. Yep, he's
Oh,
getting
yeah.
another rank of that
Nice.
right now.
That's something I think I do quite badly is keeping track of my veterancy points.
Yeah,
They're super useful.
it's definitely more
Whole
difficult
chunk
to
of base
do.
goes boom.
It's definitely more difficult to do while you're playing. There's so many things to do at any given time, and the later you go in the game, there's more things to do.
Yeah.
Which is really bad in those games that go on for like an hour and a half, because you start watching it back and it's like, wow, I just suck. But no, the true answer is you're just done with playing the game. You're like,
Yeah,
did this one
yeah.
just end already?
The brain can only take so much.
I hit that point at 50 minutes where I'm like, all right, I'm throwing everything into one strategy, and if it doesn't work, I give up.
There's a very pretty shot up there with the Monkey Lord and the GC with the red and blue lasers going off like it's something out of an anime.
Yeah.
Crab makes
This is
landfall.
also something out of an anime. You have like the agile. I guess these would both be villains because they're kind of besieging the kind of civilian populace.
Yeah.
The
Oh
experimentals
no.
are always the villains, okay?
Yeah.
They're never the heroes.
I think everyone's the villain in this game. It's a bit like
No, the
it's
engineers are the heroes.
Oh,
Those-
true.
Those blue collar engineers just doing their
They
jobs.
just want to build. They
Yeah.
just want to create, and everyone else just wants to destroy.
They're playing Minecraft, and they were just ahead of their time.
Yeah, they're getting griefed by trolls.
The
Is
land.
is that Minecraft parlance? I haven't played Minecraft in a long time.
Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't played Minecraft in like 5 years. So
Oh, there's a little a backwards facing gun. I haven't seen that before.
yeah, that's the
That's
anti-air gun.
cute. I like that.
It's got a lot of gun. Also, Megalith underrated, but so a lot of people talk about the Megalith as the best anti-naval experimental. It's even better than Fatboy because if you place it right on the edge of water, it both gets its giga-busted torpedoes. These torpedoes are filthy. I think they can take on a Tempest. I'm not sure,
Wow.
but I think you can. But on top of that, you can get the cannons firing at the same time. It definitely beats a Tempest
nice.
if the Tempest is within range of its cannons.
Mm-hmm. It's got very long range, so really useful against those, especially T2 Navy. Ravagers trying to be built, but the Megalith killing them much faster than they go up. I think once those SACUs
The
start
SCUs
exploding,
should
everything's
just
going to
start-
fall apart then.
Yeah, the SCUs at a certain point there, it was better for them to just fire, but they were kind of forfeit. Megalith making a big micro mistake here. It's being controlled by GBK, who's a 700, but we're not throwing shade or anything.
Mavor. The
Micro-
Mavor's been completed.
Yeah, the Maver's been completed. I don't know how long it's been completed, but it's done. That's not even the highlight of the game for me. The Megalith was making a huge micro mistake there for anybody who wants to know how to micro a Megalith. You never walk on top of your enemy. Their base, it doesn't matter what it is. You keep the Megalith at not necessarily max range, but you want to keep it at range of anything it's fighting. Once you start passing things and once you start getting on top of things, it gets very difficult. Admittedly, I don't know if it was a mistake because he's really trying to kill off this this Maver. Will he get it?
Yeah.
He's walking into so much T1 PD range and these stupid ASF. No, he won't get it.
Crushes a couple of shield generators, but that's not going to do the job. And that power generator. Oh, it does go pop. So the Mavor is it's only on about 2,000 hit points, and just a couple of Percival shots, I think, finishes off the
Monkey Lord
Mavor.
goes down, and so does Maver. And are Are you surprised now that T1 bombers are the focal point of this replay? I know I'm spoiling it, but T1 bombers
that's
become
fine. Yeah.
despite Mavers and Monkey Lords and Megaliths existing. Alt V again, lovely.
Ugh. when do it again. I want to see the those experimental wrecks.
The GC is not too atrocious.
Oh man, the monkey lord sort of splayed out as it falls forwards. That's so gross.
The Megalith.
It doesn't look too bad. It's got those like spikes facing up that don't really make sense to me, but
yeah, none of it makes sense. It's all Cthulhu darkness. Those are the. That's the wow, Disruptor on the field. Did not realize that.
Well,
we've just missed everything this game. We're just having a good time. As I said, it's a FAF podcast, not a FAF cast.
Yeah.
Duke now trying to be built, which seems like quite the downgrade after having a Maver to build a Duke.
Yeah.
I had what's that song? It's a Coldplay song. When I Ruled the
World. What's it called? Viva La Vida?
Yeah, Viva La Vida. It's that. It's the Empire of Sand.
Yeah.
Wow, the experimentals for Team 1 getting a ton of damage done. Like, really, they've really brought this game back. I'm sure people in the comments are going to be like, you should have just casted this like a normal one because this was a good game, but I don't care.
There's a lot of good games. We can spend our time trying to be serious later.
There are about 5 banger games played a week. This is one of them, but about 5 a week is my personal, like, that you can reasonably, like, if you're replay reviewing and you're going through the replays, making sure they're good beforehand. There's about 5 you're going to get every single week. And that just means that you have 5 attempts to make a good video.
I make like 3 or 4 videos a week, so my bar I think is a little bit lower than yours.
In general, I've noticed that not just you, a lot of the people who've started after me in the Duelist do this thing where they do like 4 or 5 casts a week, and then they get really demoralized. And this is just going to be advice because I haven't given this to anybody else, but there's been about 4 or 5 channels that I've watched where they're making good casts, they're doing everything right. It just seems like they get impatient because they give up after like 3 or 4 months, not realizing that the only reason me and the Duelist are successful is because we're stubborn assholes who are just going to keep going. I would say pace yourself. If you're starting to get tired of staring at FAF, just don't make a video for a week. It's not going to be on the channel. Yeah.
I think that happened to me a couple of years ago. I made like 9 videos, I think, and then kind of got bored of it. Because I don't know, I was like trying to make 1 video every day or something towards the end, and then I was just like, as soon as I stopped being able to keep up with that, I was like, well, what's the point? I'll just stop. So.
With the 1 video a day thing, that's such a trap for smaller YouTubers that I feel. People feel like they need to do that, but they don't take into account that the people who do 1 video a day are doing YouTube full time.
Yeah.
They don't have any other they have other responsibilities in their life, but their primary responsibility after like family and everything is going to be creating their video. Enough philosophical talk about YouTube.
Oh man, we could really go down a rabbit hole with that. So let's,
Yeah, the one last thing I will say is with the amount of videos, I think that for the past 2 years, I've probably been the most consistent about having the most videos on FAF. I'm coming up on almost 2 years of doing FAF videos. I put out more casts than almost anybody. I'm on track, like, in 2 to 3 years, I'll have more casts on my channel than Guile. And he's been doing it for, almost 10 years, if not.
Yeah.
And the entire reason behind that is just I find it fun, and I don't know, I'm a masochist who also enjoys video editing, which most people don't.
Yeah, I actually have quite a lot of fun editing videos and making the thumbnails. I even enjoy that. So I think I would make these videos if nobody watched them. I think it's such a fun game, and I like the sound of my own voice. So it's a good way to spend my time.
I hate the way my voice sounds. To like an unhealthy degree, I have to watch whenever I'm editing, I have to watch in times 8 speed, so it doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, I think I like in literal terms, I don't think I like the way my voice sounds when I play a recording back, but I actually mean I like talking.
Yeah. Well, that's
another Mavor started there. Well.
Yeah, after building 2 Dukes casually. Team 1 has really brought this back, but it still feels like they can't. They're on their deathbed. Like,
yeah, even those ideas.
They're down. They have half the massacre generation. Just feels like they've tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter.
Nice. Take a quick look at the reclaim values for me.
Yeah, let's look at the 177,000 for Zydeem, who we can discount.
Yeah, so he reclaimed his
Mavor. Don't even.
He turned one Mavor straight into another Mavor. So, yeah, I knew that would be the case, which is why I wanted to see it. I just thought it'd be a funny number.
GBK.
That is a lot of.
You're awesome, my friend. But get one factory, just one. You're in my Discord. One factory. Make T1 NGs and don't stop. You need that factory before 10 minutes, and that factory, if it dies, you replace it. But T1 NGs for the entire game. It will make you win more.
It's the most important factory. A bug has been started, but I think it's kind of a half-hearted.
Yeah, there's a reason that the Harbinger is the best T3 unit in the game, and that's because it can reclaim.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Man, maybe I should play Aeon.
Yes,
nice.
Join me. Help me cleanse the heretics. I'm the only person who stands up for Aeon in the casting community. We got Cybrins and UEFs out the ass.
Oh man, yeah. I think a couple of years ago when I was playing FAF for the first time. Whoa, that was weird.
That GC was like, "Hey, come here, buddy." I knew it could pick up land units, but it just got a double kill. It killed a transport and a deceiver.
Nice. That would be so cool if we had seen that in the hitbox mode. I bet that would have looked weird.
I wonder how many people are in the comments right now making a comment about I hate looking at this.
It's so gross. It's so gross, but I can't look away.
Next,
I love it.
Oh, also it gets rid of the border.
Oh, weird.
Next another fun thing. Next April Fools, I'm gonna do a cast in this mode. There's certain maps with loads of water that the cartographic map just looks disgusting. The color of water on that map mode is appalling. So I generally say that FAF has a unique advantage against other RTS and SimPro in general. This is a SimPro thing. Simulated projectile. Sanctuary will have this. Bar has this. Planetary Annihilation has this. But the game is so beautiful, despite not having the best graphics, because of one, the effects in all of these games are done amazingly. But after that, it's just the spectacle of it. The graphics don't need to look good because of how much is there. It's a quantity over quality.
Yeah.
And I feel like this game, we've really been hitting home the ugly points of the game, which aren't even things people see.
Yeah. It is a very attractive game. Whoa, that looks weird. They look like dead trees.
All right, we have another
cool.
experimental push over here on the northern side. I was completely wrong whenever I said the Everyday was just dead. Ikrik was defeated by the Everyday, and we
don't even know how that happened.
can't see what caused that whatsoever.
Wakalik managed to.
We're just here having a podcast. Tell me your political takes.
Oh no!
He killed him with SACUs.
Oh, nice.
Rambos, it looks.
Yeah. Wakalik actually held on to those missile launchers that we were talking about.
This rainbow
What
kill
feels like hours ago.
Killed 10,000 men. And it's not even one vest.
Yeah, Wakalik went for a TML snipe on Fluffy's comm, I think. And all of the missiles hit. I don't know what HP he's on.
The 8,000.
Yeah. Yeah, so it got through the 20k shield and then half of his chassis.
Yeah. Bubble shield would have made that even better. He wouldn't have even taken HP damage, I don't think. Or maybe he would have. Desperation,
I think it's pretty close.
Coming out from Team 1. We're going to have a Telemazer on the way momentarily. Looks like he's getting some power help from somebody, because I don't think that 4 T3P gens helps this enough. Yeah, no, he's not getting power help. He's just stalling. Which, when there's this many Dukes and a Maver about to be done, I don't think that you really need to worry about your shields. It's not like they exist anyways.
I think the Aeon T4 artillery, what's it called?
Salvation.
The Salvation, yeah, that's that I think is one of the coolest units in the game. The way it looks when it rains down all of the separate projectiles at the end is really cool. It looks like the Jericho missile from Iron Man 1. Remember that?
Yeah. With the Salvation, so I did a cast recently called Artillery Shotgun, and I think it's the best cast I've ever done. And
I saw it. Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
And I realized how many artillery shotguns in the game, because I mentioned the Scathis. I forgot the Salvation exists, and that is like almost by definition the artillery shotgun.
yeah. Big push here with the GC and a bunch of Harbingers.
A fat boy
getting
gonna
a lot of work
whittle
done.
this down. The Everyday, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Control K at this point. He 5 comms, 13,000 mass killed. He has tactical. No, he has Billy. I have bad experiences with Billy on this map. I had 5 fat boys get stopped by a Billy comm.
Oh, gross.
The fat boy cannot physically dodge it, and trying to build buzz kills next to it when buzz kills can miss is horrid.
Yeah, I think the Billy nuke is one of those tactics where it's like, yeah, if it works well, it's amazing, but if you can't get it to work well, it's oh no! They forgot to turn friendly fire off. Oh no, that would have been tragic.
That's like one of those things where you put units right next to the enemy's T3 mechs. I mean, I do this whenever they're strap bombing your units.
Yeah.
I know that's super try hard, but it's a really good strategy in case you aren't doing it. Maver is going to be done in like 20 seconds. Okay, maybe longer. I mean, he's on 756 mass income. It felt like it should be building faster.
Yeah, you could build a Monkey Lord in the time it's going to take him to complete that Mavel.
Yeah.
Is the Mavel the most expensive experimental in the game? Oh no, the Paragon is slightly more expensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Telemazer's come in there.
Yeah. Salvation on the way. Also, I was going to check the costs. Yeah, Salvation is about the same cost as the Maver. Well, that got rid of one of the game enders. Where is he Oh, he's teleporting here.
Are there any T1 PDs? Oh.
There's T1 PD, and then
Oh yeah. No Ravagers that I can see yet.
Entirely dead.
So I think he's going to be able to get some of those power generators.
But what does it achieve? It gets rid of the two
factories
I know.
that
have been producing nothing pretty much the entire game. Like, they've produced ASM, but air hasn't mattered.
He's got so many Razcons.
He lost so much HP to that dying, too.
Yeah.
Oh, Ravagers are being built instantaneously.
Oh, look at that! Wow. Properly, like, less than a second on... Oh no, I think they're trials. Yeah. Very nice.
One more player down for Team 1. As the Maver and 2 Dukes, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Disruptor hiding somewhere in here. Decide to just, you know, take down the everything else.
Boom. The Maver shells are quite cool because they kind of spiral, don't they? They're flying through the air, I think.
Some of them coming in right here. I don't think they spiral so much as... I think the coolest thing about it is it looks like a little nuke going off.
I watched, I can't remember whose cast it was.
I get a Maver shell on screen.
I think it might have been one of Guile's casts where it was a Settons match, and there were like 3 Scaphuses or something firing at this one guy's base, but he was microing the shields, like turning them on and off at the right time. Which makes them like 10 times as effective. Yeah, but it's super APM heavy.
Yeah, it takes like 100 APM to do it properly.
Yeah.
Maybe more. It's really difficult to make. And that's just doing that. You looking at... There's players who do that and then also like micromanage things really quickly in between the actions.
Yeah, so I think he was building a Mavel of his own while he was doing that.
Yeah, that's not a ton of APM. You just put your stuff to build it. The biggest problem there is when you're doing that, I think it also takes up more power for you to do that with the shields.
Right.
I think that's the only way you can actually shield against a Maver is that shield micro, and that's why you never see it done, because at that point it's over. We submitted a game to Guile that I think is getting casted. That Icy Nightmare, all of us have played over 1,000 games easily, and we'd never seen this happen. And I don't want to spoil it, but something spicy happens with a Maver.
I will look out for that one.
RKX gets
looks like
by a Maver.
He was trying to teleport as that happened, but
that was RKX.
Bopped on the head.
Air player, and I think he died to a Maver. So, here it comes. The thing I've been talking up all game.
Flight of the Valkyrie should be playing.
This is the beginning of the end. I know that the Maver, you would think that would be it. Nah, fam. This is just a glimpse of what's about to happen.
T1 bombers are the real game ender.
They really are. I was trying to do a challenge video on FAF where I beat the entire game using only T1 units, with the exception of structures. I could use T1 through T3 structures, but no standoff tactics, so no artillery. And I beat... I got all the way up to the mission where you're escorting Brackman's Megalith, using basically just T1 bombers.
Oh, right.
And then I couldn't beat that one, so it didn't turn into a video.
that's really impressive. I haven't really played many of the like campaign missions.
I'm gonna do a reboot of my FAF co-op campaign series if you're interested in joining.
Oh yeah, I'd love to.
I'm gonna do it again, this time better and without the absolutely atrocious audio that I had in that.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That's right.
I told you to go watch it, but turn the volume down.
Okay. I'll bring my my audience with me, so it'll be more popular this time. Don't you worry. I'm here to help.
Me, you, the duelist, and I guess Thurnis will tech them, or maybe one of you.
Oh, that's so many bombers.
Yeah, this isn't even the half of it. This game gets stupid ridiculous with bombers. Alright, I'll offer you guys a draw, says Fluffy. Oh, Fluffy. Gotta love the sense of humor. Also, whenever the megalith goes low poly, it turns into the Brackman one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Look. The low poly version, where it's too far away.
Oh yeah. Weird. I've never seen that before.
So, what we're gonna do really quick is this. And, just see how ridiculous it gets. I'm gonna speed up the game. The game, for all intents and purposes, is over. This is just to glorify T1 bombers, and I'm sure
for the meme.
I'm sure the people watching are already like, I hate this cast. They don't hate it because of you. They hate it because of me and my unwillingness to pay attention to the game when there's somebody else doing it. Your cat. By the way, everybody watching right now, if you're watching this and you enjoyed this even slightly, his cast is way better. The one we did on his channel, way better. We talk about the game in that one, like at least a little bit.
Like almost. I'd say almost 20% of the time we're actually talking about Supreme Commander.
We got like 15 minutes into this one, and we stopped talking about the game entirely. Blot out the sky with Scorcher.
This is wild.
Yeah. You want to see something more wild?
Let's do it.
That screen.
Oh my god. How many are there? Oh, 350. Wow. That's insane. Oh my god, I didn't even see all the...
136 air factories and more producing.
Awesome.
87
That's so silly.
About the Lobo count.
Are we gonna cross the 500 mark, I wonder?
Oh, he does. Okay. I've already spoiled it. But we
I'm trying to build suspense, Willow.
No, we don't need suspense. You think the audience wants entertainment? No, they're just here to watch ads.
Shields desperately trying to flicker into existence.
What?
Oh, look at that low poly brick from above.
So, you know what I was talking about with anti-air? I didn't really showcase it. Right here, he had about 20 flax whenever this all started.
Uh-huh.
You can't anti-air this, because he spread them out. You can't... I mean, even with ASF, this would be a hard ask.
Yeah. The Monkey Lord showed up like, so what exactly do you want me to do?
This Monkey Lord was born into a world of hate.
Yeah. Can I go back to... Can you turn me back into mass? That'd be great, thanks.
I really liked that time when I was in the ground. That would be a really weird thing to do. Track, I guess it's impossible, but like try and track one mass throughout the entire game.
Oh yeah.
Like, because it's gonna die, get reclaimed, get turned into something else, but you can't follow it after it dies.
Yeah, because once it gets reclaimed, it just kind of goes into a pool
an
of
ambiguous pool of mass.
poor mats. They don't have personalities of their own.
Do you remember Machinima
This is
back in the day when they made like Machinima
Oh, yeah?
videos, like story videos and games?
Yeah.
Like, do like a story time thing where you make like write a script and make a bunch of characters using FAF units. Be interesting.
I think there's some Januses in the mix there as well, ruining the party.
No, it's 100% Scorcher.
Oh right.
And the final number of Scorchers, 573.
Oh,
Final
strong.
number of factories, 229 producing Scorchers.
Awesome.
Let's just go ahead and
That's so
grab
cool.
this thumbnail.
Yeah. It's actually something out of a nightmare. Like all these little, like insects flying around. Cool.
I don't know how I'm gonna get a thumbnail for that. You know what? This is how we get a thumbnail.
Nice. Oh yeah, lovely. That looks good.
Good enough. All
What
right.
does the what does the hitbox look like on a Scorcher?
Now you're just so interested in all the hitboxes.
It's
really
morbid
boring.
curious. It's not that good. Oh well.
Most of the T1 units are boring. All right. Thank you
Yeah.
all for watching this travesty. You all are beautiful. Go check out Function. It deserves more views, likes, comments, subscribes, all of that. And I will see you in the next one. Anything you want to say?
Yes. Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for letting me be part of this nonsense. I love it. See you guys next time.
All right. Thank you all the Patreons. You all are beautiful. Like, comment, subscribe, Patreon, and join channel membership down below. I didn't tell everybody to hit the buttons at the beginning of this one, but they're down there. Fucking click them. And goodbye. I don't know. I'm so aggressive about clicking buttons. I'm really passionate about clicking buttons. I don't even care what they do at this point.